Hello, fellow panel chewers. Welcome back to Panel Chewing Pick of the Week, where we discuss all the comic books we read for this week and we pick our favorite book of the week. And after that, we will be discussing our group read, which we can, anybody can read along with us on Libby or Hoopla. It is the Daredevil run, the Frank Miller Daredevil run. We're currently, I believe, in Volume 2. And this week we'll be discussing, Volume 3. We just started Volume 3. We'll be discussing issues 185 and 186 today. And excuse my voice, I'm just trying to get it back. But with all that said, Jared, how's it going?
It's going all right. Yeah, there's lots of winter sickness going around. I'm getting over the flu myself, and all I got left is this slight cough. But hopefully, it'll go away soon.
Yeah, it's lingering. It's definitely does not want to go away. So hopefully soon.
Yeah.
But I can actually form a sentence now and not cough. So it's good.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. So usually I like to start off with a topic, and I forgot to bring this up to you before we hit record. But I've been noticing this newer trend of kind of the grab bags where you grab a specific issue of a book, and there's a chance of you getting a special cover or like a special edition of that issue. It's kind of like it's kind of like gambling is what it is, because you're buying the book, but you're hoping to get the golden ticket. So how do you feel about that kind of thing? I'm kind of torn on it.
Is that something that they're offering at the store, at the local comic book store? Oh, really? Huh. I haven't run into that, so I'm not sure what that entails. I have seen with some gaming companies, they have like a secret box or something like that, and you can just buy that, and there'll be like random gaming products inside or what have you that you take a chance on whether or not you like them or not. I personally never went in for them because I don't know. I'm very particular about what I buy. I want to know what I'm buying, basically. I'm not much of a gambler as far as in general. Never mind with my entertainment.
Yeah. No, there's been a couple of issues recently that you'll which issue you're going to get, like the interior, but the exterior or like the cover might be a number one issue, but it may be the foil cover or a special edition cover or whatever. So it's a gimmick to get you to buy more in hopes of getting the shiny whatever edition. So I don't know. I think there's a lot of that going on right now with kind of basically just gambling and you're hoping you get the version you want. On one hand, I can see if you're not the type of person to camp out and to wait in lines, and you have to be there early to get certain editions. So it gives you a chance of getting the specific, like a special edition of the book. But so I can kind of see that where it gives you a chance, but I guess it can be fun. But I don't know, I'm a little bit torn on it.
Yeah, I got quickly burnt out on special edition covers in the 90s.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not something I'll be returning to today.
Yeah. Learned our lesson a long time ago. Yeah. They're not so valuable when they print like 100,000 of them. So it's
Yeah.
Everyone had all these issues, but it's funny. Some of those number ones from back and then like the image date, like this, there's some number one Spawn editions that are worth a little bit of money now. So if you've kept it in your drawer for all these years, you might cash in on it.
Yeah. It depends upon how much you value your space. It's kind of funny because like even I think a lot of this started. Remember the in the 90s there was the Death of Superman craze that went on, and it had the covers bagged in these super secret,
the black and the red,
black plastic or whatever, and it eventually that just ended up being nothing, really. It ended up
Yeah.
really being nothing. There wasn't anything special about those comics at all. Um, and but I remember buying like 3 different ones at the time, and I remember getting quickly discouraged with that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I feel like I was burnt, um, and soon after that, a lot of people did because that's when the crash happened,
Mhm.
for the comic book industry, and it took a while to recover from that. So,
Yeah.
uh, it was anyone of my generation or so, probably isn't going for these grab bag type things, but I don't know if it brings in new customers. More power to them, I guess.
Yeah. It's one of those things. So we'll get to our picks this week, or what we pulled this week rather, and start us off with my first one, which was almost my pick of the week.
Oh,
Just fell a little short, which is Babs, The Black Road South, #1. This is, of course, the sequel to the original Babs run with from Garth Ennis and Jason Burrows. Anyone who knows me or knows the podcast knows that I'm a stand for Burrows and Ennis, especially when they're together. This one we pick up pretty quickly after the events of the first series, and has a little bit different feel to it, where it's Babs getting in trouble and Babs doing Babs things and just being Babs. Babs is this kind of this comical take on the barbarian archetype. It's a She's this badass who has a talking sword and all. It the whole book pokes fun at fantasy tropes, and there's asshole elves, and there's so nobody really takes her seriously, and then she ends up killing everybody. So it's her getting in trouble, making some bad decisions, drinking too much, and yeah, I think it's gonna be a fun time. It was had me chuckling a few times, and looking forward to seeing what they come up with. So good first issue.
and this is like another limited series, like a
I believe so. Yeah,
what?
yeah, by Ahoy Comics.
Ah, cool. All right, my first one this week is Dead Romans #6. This is the final issue in the miniseries from Image Comics, and this is an issue it came out a while ago. I just missed it somehow. I don't know how I missed it because I got the first 5, and sometimes I just overlook things that but for some reason I remembered it for some reason that I actually was looking through what I had, and I was like, oh, I need to finish that off. So I got the 6th issue, and this is a story about the Roman invasions of various Germanic territories during their expansion into Northern Europe, Gaul, and what have you. And so there's this being the final issue in the series. It finishes off a storyline where you have various allegiances between Roman generals and Germanic tribe chieftains, and it's not always black and white about who's fighting who, and the politics are kind of involved. All the tribes aren't united under one guy. There's a bunch of different tribes, and so and they're all vying for territory or vying for their place in Europe. And the I found the storyline very interesting. The artwork is very dark and moody. Um, and I really like the storyline as far as um the politics and people trying to jockey for position to have their people come out in the best position in order to, for survival eventually. And the even though the Romans are the bad guys in most cases in this type of story. They're still presented as very, human and trying to make the right decision and stuff like that based upon their own. Because if they're not um, doing what they need to do politically within Rome, they're just they're gonna get stomped on as well, even by their own people. So uh, everybody has their agenda for survival here. Um, I wasn't too keen on the ending. I thought it was a little cliche.
Mm,
Um, in the book itself. I mean, overall, the series was pretty decent, um, and it was okay. But I found the ending a little bit unsatisfying, I would say,
mm,
overall. But I don't know. It's a pretty good historical fiction type of situation, type of story. Um, I wish the ending was a little stronger, but it was okay. It was, not gonna give it the thumbs down. I'll give it the mediocre.
no, we need a mediocre trombone, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to quickly mention before we get on to the next one, which is I know we're late this week, releasing on Sunday. I was sick this week and wasn't able to speak, so we'll be back on our normal Wednesday time slot starting this week. So just want to mention that for anyone listening and wondering what the hell we were is because of that. But
Where you been?
yeah. So the next one for me is Capes number 2. Now, I thought this is by Robert Kirkman. I thought this was a newer book, but it turns out this is a book from 2007 that they're republishing with updated dialogue and artwork. I'm not sure if it
Oh,
was really bad or I've I've looked online and the reviews I saw were mixed on how good the book was or wasn't back in 2007. But it's basically a story about uh, superheroes being corporatized, people signing up to have a job and serve the people, the punch clock, kind of this 9 to 5 thing where they're superheroes and they fight supervillains and kind of the politics that go into that, creating a problem to get funding for these programs, the superhero programs. You want to create supervillains, you want to create problems for them to solve, otherwise they're useless. So it's funny, it's very light, it's very forgettable, but it's entertaining, so it's fine. I mean, it's another we need a mediocre trombone sound for stuff like this.
we need a mediocre. Yeah.
Yeah.
What would that be? Any suggestions out there for a mediocre sound?
Yeah, it's not quite trombone worthy, but it's fine. One of the big things I have in my notes this week is it was fine. But you're gonna hear that a few more times. It's like, oh, I read it, it was fine. Like it was okay. We need something. Yeah. So any suggestions, all yours.
All right. Um, let's see. Next up, I have a couple issues of Conan, Scourge of the Serpent, number 3 and 4, because somehow I missed number 3, so I ended up getting both of these issues at the same time, which was cool because I just read right through, and this is a 4 issue miniseries. This is the crossover miniseries between that involves Conan as well as King Kull of Atlantis and another character who lives in 1934. I forget his name, but he's a more modern character who looks into the occult and knows knows about things like the Hyperborean age or what have you.
Hmm.
Uh, and so this is and these are all Howard characters that he wrote about, and there was many times that in Howard's writing where Conan would kind of have visions of the ancient past and what have you. And this is kind of what Jim Zub is doing with these stories is he's kind of bringing those ancient ancient memories and visions that these characters have, and making them a little more real as far as their own, situations go. Um, and he does a pretty good job of it, actually. They don't actually like cross over and meet each other. He's telling three different stories from three different characters' perspective, but the story is all related in how the serpent god Set is trying to uh, have his influence upon the world at the time that these three different characters are living. So it's not like Conan's meeting this guy from 1930 or anything like that. Um, it's more of a storyline where the serpent god Set, who is portrayed in this these timelines as kind of um as almost like a Lovecraftian presence,
Mm,
like this ancient horror being that exists in all these timelines and is trying to infiltrate our realities, whether it's during King Kull's time or Conan's time or the modern time in 1930s. Um, and they're all fighting this infiltration in their own ways and how they approach this stuff. So it's pretty cool stuff.
mm,
As always, Titan Comics has seems to have a monopoly on good artists these days. Um, they really the artwork's great. I mean, it's just good stuff. Um, and so they're fun reads. If you if you don't like the crossover stuff that Conan does, you're not going to like these. But if you don't mind the crossover stuff, you're going to like these. These are probably some of the more fun crossover things
mm.
to read with involving Conan. Um, and it's not my pick of the week or anything like that. Which I know sounds strange coming from me that Conan is not my
Yeah.
pick of the week, but but um but they're still fun. They're still fun stories to read, and I still enjoy reading about these characters, and the artwork is wonderful to look at as well. So good stuff. Good stuff. Glad I'm glad I noticed that I didn't get no, issue 3, so I'm glad I picked 3 and 4 up and read both of those, and good times.
I was surprised it wasn't your pick. Seeing Conan not in the as your pick, I was surprised. So the next one for me is Logan, Black, White, and Blood, number one. There seems to be this trend last, I don't know, year or two of these black and white books with splashes of red, like there's red colors in them. I guess it's a thing, and I don't know. 'Cause some are more effective than others. But I saw this and I thought, okay, I'll try it. Okay, I never get Marvel. I'll try a Marvel book, and it's three short stories of Logan through his life, different time periods. There's one in a war. There's one after he escapes from Weapon X. So it kind of bounces around. And again, it was fine. I mean, the stories are short. They don't really have a ton of substance. They give you a little bit of insight, but with these characters, especially Logan, that we've seen so many different stories, and he's had because he's been so popular for so long. He's had a lot of different adventures, and it's hard to keep track, and sometimes it just gets a little bit overwhelming. Like there's certain key moments, but a lot of the storylines that they've crafted for him over the years have just been kind of forgettable. So it was okay. I'm not sure that I'll pick it up again, but it was fine. I'm still looking for a really good Logan book that scratches that 1990s itch. I don't know if it'll ever happen again, but yeah, it was fine. That's another fine book this week.
It's fine. Uh,
It's fun.
yeah, yeah. It You need to go back to that old Barry Windsor Smith Weapon X storyline. That was fantastic back in
Yeah.
the day, but, be tough to find something like that again.
Yeah, definitely.
Next up, I got Absolute Superman number 15, and, this is advertised as a new story starts here,
Mhm.
with Absolute Superman, and, in a way it does, but also in another way it kinda lies, um, 'cause it and I kinda like that. I
Mhm.
actually like that this issue actually covers a lot of territory from the big finale that the last issue had, and it, so I kinda like that aspect of it. There was a lotta mopping up, and there was a lot of, well, there was some exploration of what happens to the bad guy
Mhm.
after the, ending of that big, finale that they had last issue, and I kinda like that. I wasn't a huge fan of the artwork in this particular issue. It wasn't the regular artist that
Yeah.
that who was really great, um, I thought, and, but, I mean, it wasn't terrible art by any means, but I really liked the other guy
Yeah,
from the,
Rufus Sandoval, I think. Yeah.
yeah, Sandoval, yeah, he's something else, and, so this art was serviceable. It did its job, but, I did miss Sandoval a lot, and, but I did enjoy the story. I liked the fact that it wasn't, that, Superman, as his situation stands now, is still searching for answers personally, that, he needs to ask about himself, and he needs to do this. He's doing this by asking questions of the people who were against him and trying to find out, and I thought that was pretty clever on, Jason Aaron's part, to have this issue. I don't know if this is I mean, it ends on a cliffhanger, so we'll see what becomes of that, which, as a news story, that's kind of to be expected.
Mhm.
Um, and, but I'm glad that, Aaron is continuing to make it interesting, as a series. So hopefully he keeps that up.
Yeah, with something that struck me with this issue is the Kents, and I'll try to make this kind of general, not really spoilery, but I kind of felt like the Kents didn't get enough time. We get bits and pieces, but for as much as I've enjoyed Absolute Superman, I feel like the Kents have been underserved with their impact on the current Absolute Superman. But maybe that'll come in time.
Hmm.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah. The next one for me is Punisher Red Band number 4. This is another action packed issue. I thought after the events of last issue, this may this book may take a turn and have some kind of substance to it, other than just Punisher killing people and violence. But I don't think it'll be more than that. And I guess I should have guessed that, but given the title with Red Band, ooh, it's in a bag. It's it's naughty. Don't buy that. Uh, so yeah, they still weren't cursed in the books. I don't get that still. But anyway, um, I guess Punisher running around killing people. Some people enjoy that. It's very surface level. It's very easy. It's very I mean, I can see where people would enjoy that. I just wish there was something more, and it's unfortunate it doesn't have a little bit of something more. So it's again, it's fine. And the last one for me before we get to our picks is a Skinbreaker number 4. This is, of course, Kirkman and David Finch on art. And this follows a tribe. It's maybe another world, but it's a tribe of people who are kind of going through this transition phase where they pick a new chief, and the new chief brings in different ways of doing things. He, kind of evolves and wants to do things smarter, kind of a different approach to survival. And a lot of the people that are there, they don't want to change. They want, brute force. They want show of strength. They don't want they don't want this new way of life. So they challenge the chief to a battle to the death to decide who's going to be the new chief. And the battle does not go at all the way anyone would expect, and I'm not really sure how to feel about it. This one, again, it's the artwork is beautiful. I really love Finch's art, but again, it's fine. I don't feel like it's really moving along. I don't feel like we've covered a ton of ground in 4 issues. There are some series where you feel like you know, like you can make a movie out of these last 4 issues. There's so much in it, but I don't really feel like there's a whole lot. I don't feel like there's been a whole lot of movement, but at the same time, there's lots of beautiful artwork to look at. So, it is what it is. So it was fine. With all that said, it is time
There we go.
for the pick of the week. Jared, do you want to kick us off with your pick?
Yeah. I read from our friends at Distillery Comics, who I really appreciate the access they gave us.
Mm-hmm.
And I read the Somna graphic novel, A Bedtime Story, and by Becky Cloonan and Tula Lotay. And if anybody's reading this as a bedtime story, be prepared not to sleep at night.
Yeah.
um, yeah. Just right off the bat, the artwork in this book is absolutely stunning. Becky Cloonan pulls all the stops, and I don't know, because some of the artwork is regular, hand drawn ink, pen and pencil and ink, in regular colors, and some of the other artwork is more like a I don't know if it's painting or watercolors or whatever it is. It's a blend, and there's a reason for that. The story reflects different aspects of the story, reflect just different aspects of the artwork, and I'm not sure where, if Tula Lotay is an artist that's also contributing to this, or she's just helping her write it. I'm not even sure how that collaboration worked, but regardless, the effect was awesome. And I really, really just was blown away by the artwork in this story. And the story itself is kind of just this wild, sexy, disturbing tale about like false accusations and like the demons that we dream into existence, really.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like I said, it's not a bedtime story. It's even though it says so in the title, it is disturbing. It is about it's about this I think it's about like the witch trials. Although I didn't know if it was placed specifically in any particular locale, um but basically it's during this time where anything can set somebody off to be
Mm-hmm.
accused as a witch and be burned at the stake because of that. Um and so you have this main character who has these what people would consider sinister thoughts and unpure thoughts and stuff like that, and she's these thoughts are coming forth as manifesting as demonic, and as because that's what people thought that these thoughts were back then.
Mm-hmm.
So you you get this blend of, is there really a demon involved here, or is it just all in her head? And you start to wonder what she's seeing. You start to wonder that people get killed, and people get blamed, and you start to wonder whether or not the people blaming are the ones who are doing these bad deeds, or is she doing them and she's just a little crazy with this, or is there really some kind of demonic possession going on? It really blurs the lines and the images between all this stuff and really lets you trying to decipher what's going on here, and it's done in a really just beautiful way. Um, and some parts were disturbing, but some parts were fascinating, and I um, I really enjoyed trying to figure it out as I was reading it, trying to figure out what's really going on here. The Clunan really left a mystery up there for the reader to try to figure out, and I really enjoyed uh, how she did that. And this is not like I said, it's not a bedtime story. There's no happy endings here. Um, so,
No.
but yeah, but enjoy the ride, enjoy the visuals. It really is something else.
Mhm. I really like this one. I read the first volume last year sometime, and I meant to Mike and I. Shout out to Mike. We were discussing having a kind of a dedicated podcast episode to it, and never happened. But yeah, it's a really great book. We need to get the physical copy of it. But yeah, wonderful book. Great work by Clunan and Lotte.
Yeah,
Definitely a special book. Not something you might not want to read on public transport.
yeah, not safe for work. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And if you read it before bed, you might have some strange dreams.
yeah.
So the my pick this week was the longest title, which is Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, Rite of Spring, number 5. Now, I was mistaken because in the original Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, I don't remember there being a definitive timeline. But in Rite of Spring, it's very obvious that they're in the early 90s. And I thought it was a prequel to Beneath the Trees, but it's actually a sequel. So it is a sequel to the original. Uh, so it puts a different it reframed this story for me, knowing that this happens after. So, but the setup for this story is Sam is this is an anthropomorphic. These animals, they look like teddy bears and stuffed animals. They're people, and one of the bears is named Sam. She's a serial killer. She goes and kills people in neighboring towns, and she's this ruthless killer, but masquerades as an innocent shop owner. And over time, you start to see the impact that her crimes have on the people around her, or people that her victims are suffering, and you see the trickle down where she murders somebody, and then the people who love that person are all suffering because of it, and all the people that she hurts. And one of them is a sister of one of her victims that comes to try to figure out what happened to her brother. And the sister gets a little too close to figuring things out, and things go completely off the rails in this issue. And Sam is in quite the predicament, and you find how prepared Sam was for this kind of situation, were it to ever come about, and you wonder how far she'll go to cover her tracks. So it is the end of this issue is brutal. It was a good time. It was crazy. So yeah, it's a neat series. It's probably one of my favorite books of the last couple of years. It's up there, probably top 10. And Patrick Horvath writes and draws this one, and yeah, it's a fun story about a teddy bear who's a serial killer.
Wow.
Yeah, more stories to read at night.
Yeah.
So with all that said, go into Daredevil, which is the Frank Miller run on Daredevil issues 185 and 186. We invite anyone who wants to read along with us. You can read along for free
I'm broke as shit.
on Libby or Hoopla. Just need a library card, sign up, and you can read along with us. I believe we are starting the Grant Morrison run on Batman after we're done with this volume of Daredevil. So heads up that we're planning to do that after Daredevil. We still have it about another month, so no rush just yet. Just a heads up for anyone wanting to kind of prepare themselves to read along with us. 2 issues per week, and this week 185, 186, and they did feel very strange. These
Mm.
issues felt very out of place, and as you mentioned, because Frank Miller didn't draw them.
Yeah. He wrote these. I don't know if he said if he stated the layouts that he wanted, because some of the layouts would seem familiar,
Yeah,
but it was definitely different. There was some there was some cool word placement and stuff like that. Especially in 185. But I did find 185 interesting because the whole issue was from Foggy's perspective. Um, so that was a little different. It seemed a little, I don't know, a little silly at points. But that's 1980s for you, I guess. Uh,
he goes
but
to the bar. He's looking for answers at the bar.
yeah, looking for answers at the bar. Um, and yeah, so all the artwork was by Klaus Janson. It was kind of a strange, fun issue, a little bit. Turk ends up working for Foggy, and um, it was at some points it was interesting seeing Foggy's viewpoint, but on another level, it was just okay. Where's this going?
Yeah,
You know, I was just like, where's it going? And then we got into the next issue, and I was like, Stiltman, really?
yeah,
Stiltman?
yeah.
Okay. And then the Turk takes the Stiltman suit, and I was just like, what are these guys doing? What are these guys doing with this run? How does this run how is this included in this great run that Miller was doing with the whole Elektra storyline and stuff that was so
Hmm.
cool, that was so good? And then it goes back to this stuff, and I'm just like, it's not bad, but it's just not what we were in for
Hmm.
previously.
Felt very out of place. I mean, we go from these pretty serious, like this grief of Electrodyne, Bullseye. Even the Bullseye is, they kind of frame him as this crazy, at times comical character because he's so crazy. He's a murderer. He and Daredevil have this back and forth, and then the drama between Matt and Heather, and the conflict with, or the semi conflict with Foggy, just the kind of the the business relationship there, and it just
Yeah, yeah.
it felt very grounded. And then we go into Stiltman and this kind of foggy side mission. It felt really off. I kept looking at making sure I was reading the right issues, because it felt like I said I must have missed something. This seems very odd.
Yeah. Yeah. And what was up with like Matt kind of like forcing Heather to marry him almost? I was just like, this seems a little out of character. That I don't know. I don't know why Matt wouldn't be supportive of Heather's bid to run her own company. Like he's trying to talk her out of it and not be a part of it. And it just seems odd. It really does.
Hmm. Yeah, I didn't. It all felt very disjointed, and it felt very it just felt very strange. I didn't like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping that the rest of this volume 3, um, you know, we had some silly X-Men issues, right? When we
Mhm.
were reading Claremont, like the whole arcade thing with the X-Men issues, that was kind
Yeah.
of offbeat and fun and wasn't part of the main Dark Phoenix saga type thing that we were there for. Um, but this one, and so eh, granted, I guess we should kind of expect these kind of silly side tricks in the middle of these, these quote great runs um, from Marvel in the early '80s. It seems to be just part of the landscape at the time to get these issues like this. So hopefully the rest of Volume 3 will go back to the kind of storytelling that we were exposed to with the whole Electro run. That was really great stuff.
Mhm. Yeah, hopefully it gets back on track. That was I almost sent you a text and was like, "Am I reading the right ones?" Because this seems very. I kept looking at the book and like, did I miss something? This is very weird. But yeah, it wasn't only me, so that's good.
Yeah, yeah. Let's hopefully, well, we got 187, 188 next,
Mhm.
so hopefully those will be better.
Hopefully, Stiltman will go away.
It's still, man.
How
That
about
kills
that?
me. That kills me.
Stiltman, yeah, goofy shit. But anyway, yeah. So next week we'll read 187, 188. Hopefully, it'll come back and round back into form. And but we'll see how it goes. So, and that does it for episode 119 of Pick of the Week. Getting up there in numbers. Getting up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So until next time, Jared, where can people find you?
You can find me at the Fantasy Thinker YouTube channel. You can find me at the on Film Showing for the Oscar Project in Spectacle Speculation podcast.
Yes. And you can find me over on pagetune.com. Lots of stuff going on all the time there. We just finished Platoon and we'll be watching The Last Emperor next. So if you're watching along the Oscars Project, get ready for a long one. I believe it's almost 3 hours long, The Last Emperor. So yeah, so thanks everyone for watching or for listening, and we hope you have a great week, and we hope you found your pick of the week.
Bye-bye.